Welcome to another episode of the No Ceilings Podcast. I'm Tyler Metcalf, joined as always by Tyler Rucker. Rucker, twice in 1 week. How are we doing?
Fantastic. Doing great. I'm actually, thriving right now. Life is being really good to me right now, Metcalf. How are you doing?
Really good too. Really good. It's an insane time. Weirdly in the off season, a lot going on. Seemingly every day and every second of every day, but really good stuff. And you just get to talk some hoops. So what's there to complain about?
It seems like every year we've done No Ceilings, this has been a time where it's just like, oh, it's so nice to hit the brakes and relax, and even doing pods where we're more relaxed. And right now, this year, it has not been that at all. It has been go, go, go. There's stuff going on behind the scenes left and right. Very excited to share that stuff soon, but pause for effect. We'll wait and do it when it's right. So no, I'm doing good though, Mike. I've got a lot of energy these days. It's a little shocking. The age numbers going up, but I'm still ready to go to war. And I'm excited for this one.
Age numbers going up, sleep numbers are going down, energy levels somehow going up. It makes no sense, but we're not scientists. All right, we got a busy episode, so we're not gonna beat around the bush. We caught up the other day. Let's just dive into it. We're talking Summer League returners, big time because or big time of the year for these guys, because for the rookies, it's obviously, hey, just let's go play basketball. You're on your team. You got some new teammates. You got new coaches. You have a new system. You have new colors. You've been flying all over the country doing these workouts and pre-draft crap, like whatever. We take what we can get. The returners, though, this is for some guys, their first or second full off season. And it's like, all right, time to put up or shut up. Let's see what you improved on. Let's see where those gains came and how your team is kind of deploying you, which might suggest how they might use you in the coming year. So when we look at these returners, who's one of the first big standouts for you that really impressed you?
Yeah, this is, and I'm going to give you one. I've got a lot of them, but this is my favorite thing about Summer League. Everyone gets excited to see the rookies. I like to see the returners. I think you get to find out who's been working on their game. And like you just said, full first off season, your first full, like, hey, no media circus. You get a grind on your game, and you just had a year to be like, okay, I need to work on this in a bad way, like right away to get better. So I think it's always awesome. But I'm gonna start on a little different path here. I thought Filipowski looked great. I mean, obviously he won MVP of the NBA's Summer League awards, but I thought Filipowski was exactly what you want to see from if you're a Jazz fan. Like you want to see this player that comes out that immediately shows like, okay, it looks like he could be a piece for us for years to come. Now, how high is that ceiling? I still have questions, but offensively, keyword offensively, I thought Filipowski looked outstanding. And one of those guys where you're like, that's exactly what you're hoping to see from a returner of like, okay, now he's ready to take that next step. Now let's see how much we can build off that.
He was one of these guys that had a really strong finish to the year, to the regular season too, with some really big scoring performances and production performances. But with a team that's tanking like that, it's always like, how real is this, And when you immediately follow that up, I know it's just Summer League, but the confidence that he was playing with, the aggressiveness that he was playing with, he was out there like, why in the world? Who had the gall to have me suit up in these games? I have no business being here. I am too good to be here. And he went out there and showed it every single night. The aggressiveness that he attacked downhill, the outside shooting, the offensive versatility. I thought the handle looked a little better, but the overall levels of aggressiveness and confidence that he was playing with was like, oh my goodness, like this could get really, really fun for the Jazz in like early this season with him.
Well, that's what you want to see. Exactly what you're saying. Like you want to see in not a arrogant bad way, but you want to see the players on the court that are returning being like, how dare this team ask me to play Summer League? I'm above these guys in a nice way. You just want them to have that mentality of like, I'm too good to be here. So I love when they go out, and I think there's some guys that go out ready to just kill and try to drop 50. That could turn the other way in a hurry too. I think when you go out and you just show, you're composed, the game's going at a different speed, and you look like you don't belong when you're not even scoring. I think that's more notable. And I think Filipowski on the offensive side of the ball showed that. Defensively, we still got some work to go, but we always knew that with Filipowski. He was not drafted for his defense. So I still just think that's a great start for him.
Yeah, and I don't mean to imply that he was like bad body language or arrogance or anything out there. It was just a self-confidence, and when he would get certain defensive matchups, it's just one of those, you see it in a guy's eyes where it's like, you can't guard me, and it's like, I'm about to torch you, and he did consistently. A lot of times we see guys being like, you can't guard me, and then they fumble the ball off their feet or kick it out of bounds or throw up an ugly shot, and he just consistently executed at a really high level. The defense is what it is, but seeing the offensive growth, confidence, and versatility pop like this quickly was really encouraging. A couple other guys on the Jazz who I thought were really solid. Cody Williams, I mean, the man got crapped on all year. I thought he looked solid. So some inconsistent scoring efficiency performances. In person, he looks way bigger, like physically bigger, added some really meaningful and functional strength. And I thought Isaiah Collier had some really fun flashes. Ball security continues to be an issue, but the way he gets downhill and then incorporates his playmaking instincts and the way that the defense continues to improve, and just really enjoying it.
I'm gonna tell everyone something that is not going to be popular. Cody Williams looks exactly how he should be looking right now. I mean, we knew when he was drafted he was going to be extremely raw. He's thin. He's so far, like, we have to be realistic. You draft these guys to give them multiple years. Like, usually it's 3 years, and then you reevaluate. Cody was going to be this project with upside, and I thought Cody looks exactly what you would hope. He looks fantastic getting downhill. There's assertiveness now. There's confidence. The body looked way different, and I was happy hearing you guys that were at Summer League tell me too, like, oh, well, he really looks like he's put on some weight. I think it's just you're piecing it together. You don't all of a sudden everything just gets unlocked at once. It's unlocking one part of the game, then the next. So I think Cody's right on the right path. There's still stuff that he needs to work on with his game, but I love the confidence. There was some good stuff like all over the place with his game, especially that you just didn't see as a rookie. You didn't see the second half of his Colorado season because he was banged up. So I just think he looked great. And I thought, a little early, he got shut down before Vegas, but I thought Bryce Sensabaugh looked fantastic. This could be a big year for him. So obviously it's his third year, but his first year I feel like was very delayed with injuries and whatnot. So Utah had a lot of guys that looked good on the returners nod, but should we get into the weeds now that we got the Summer League MVP out of the way?
There's one last thing with Cody, because you mentioned the confidence, and that obviously the added muscle really stood out in person, but everything up here did too, because he's always been, oh man, he's passive. He disappears from games. Like, he doesn't have confidence. He's a quiet kid. And we saw that at Hoop Summit too, where he looked like a fish out of water with a lot of those guys who had grown up playing together for a decade, and he was the quietest guy there. He wasn't totally interacting. He looked a little uncomfortable. And we saw a lot of that lack of confidence in his rookie season and even at Colorado. And now that he's in that same setting and he's building that chemistry, the physical development was really important, really great to see, but so was that confidence development, that shift in the mentality, because it would have been very easy for him to come out tight and shy or, wound up based on the way everyone talked about him over the last 1 to 2 years. And he didn't. I thought he looked really good, played within himself, played within the offense, and just looked solid.
Yeah, and everyone wants to just be like, oh, he got drafted because of his brother's Jaylon Williams. It's like, no, well, Jaylen played 3 years at Santa Clara. And if you go look at his stuff, like, it took him a while to really hit that leap too. So Cody was also thinner, taller, more of a project. Like, I hate using raw because I do think a lot of rookies are raw because they have to find a lot of their game to like, hey, what's going to help me survive early on in my NBA career? And I think Cody's, you brought up such a great point, Metcalf, and I it's weird to say that on the air with you sometimes.
Just because it happens all the time.
I have to admit it, not all the time, but the confidence thing is I always say confidence is the most important thing with developing a player, and if you don't have it, you will not find what you're supposed to become at your potential. And Cody, we saw him in person. Like, the confidence easily over the years would waver. He looked in those games like there was just soaring, like surging confidence, no matter what. Where it was getting downhill, he was very assertive with what he wanted to do. And that's what I think was the biggest thing is like, okay, now Cody's getting it. Now he understands like, hey, here's my spots to really do some damage. Thought there was some mid-range stuff that looks good, but still needs some work. And I just think you're seeing a player that's taking that next step. And let's see if he can show that in the league or in the regular season too. But good start for him.
Obviously, none of this is to say that he's coming out like an all-star next year.
Yeah, right.
Steps, very important steps in the right direction, both mentally and physically. Okay, moving on. I thought this guy, obviously, you would kind of hope, given his age, that he would have looked dominant like he did. Terrence Shannon Jr., one of the easiest and earliest candidates of you are just way too good to be here.
Yeah, I had him on my too good for summer league shut it down list that everyone was just fantastic on the line. You guys made my summer league experience from home 10 times better. I had Shannon on there pretty early. I wanted to put him after a game, and then I was like, I'll give him one more. And then I was like, yeah, let's put him. He looks awesome.
So good. Now he is 25. Important to reminder, but like, he's one of these older second-year guys. Just providing context.
Yeah, he's an older second-year guy. It's still just his second year in the league.
He's older than Anthony Edwards.
Those are my favorite tweets.
I love it so much.
Anytime someone posts an age tweet where it's like, hey, this second-year guy is older than a guy that's been in the league for 6+ years or whatever. I'm not comparing it to Ant because I don't have that off the top of my head, but it's like my favorite tweets. I'm like, what? Blah, blah, blah is older than blah. You're like, what? That's not possible. He just seems like a player that's going to be perfect for a real serious leap in year two. And I'm not saying like, oh, TSJ is going to average 20 a game all of a sudden for the T-Wolves because that's just not going to happen. But he seems like he's the impact is going to take a humongous leap where it's like, oh, he's playing at the end of games with, Ant and McDaniel somehow just because of his mentality, his effort. And he's so much fun when he just gets ahead of steam and like,
it's insane.
It's like turning into rage mode, like in a video. I just feel like you can't stop him when he has like, oh, I know exactly where I'm going. And he has so much power behind his speed. Like, I love it. But go ahead. This is your boy.
So, and he was not my favorite prospect coming out of college.
Wasn't mine either.
I had a lot of questions. Obviously, the age, the inconsistent shooting. It's like, all right, is this pseudo point guard stuff really going to translate? Like, I didn't love the playmaking decision or, the consistency with the playmaking. I just didn't know what he was going to be. And then obviously all the off court stuff that it, quickly got debunked and NBA teams were cued in on earlier than the public. And he's just been exactly what he was in college. Like, it's like, oh yeah, he got to the rim and to the foul line a million times a game. Cool. We're just going to do that again in the NBA because why not? And he's huge. That first step when he gets going, like the first step is quick. The third step's even faster. He has the strength to fight through help rotations and dig attempts and finishes through contact, draws a ton of fouls. The shot looked a little better. He can defend a handful of different positions. And I did a video breakdown on his summer league tape and how it might suggest how he's used with the Wolves this coming season. There's a big hole in that rotation with Nickeil Alexander-Walker leaving. I think Terrence Shannon Jr. is about to step into it pretty seamlessly. And a big reason for that is how often they're putting the ball in his hands, giving him those playmaking reps, and allowing him to initiate the offense and use that rim pressure and those paint touches to generate looks for Behringer at the rim, for Jalen Clark in the corner, Rob Dillingham above the break, those driving kick situations where if you're the Timberwolves and now you have the second year guy coming in and getting those, that takes a lot of pressure off of Anthony Edwards and gives Dante DiVincenzo cleaner looks, gives Anthony Edwards some cleaner looks, and it gives the rotation another downhill presence that they still don't have. Like Julius Randle gets to the rim, Naz Reid gets to the rim, but very different ways. And just having that grab and go, that catch and go type of guy, that, second side DHO pick and roll type of guy who can get to his spot wherever it is, whenever he wants, really, really important. So I also think it's really telling that he was the one who emerged late in the playoffs last year, getting those spot minutes off the bench. I think he's going to play a huge role for the Timberwolves this year.
Yeah, I think he wasn't my favorite prospect either, but I think it's a valuable lesson in evaluating. Now he ended up in a spot where, like, the moment he got drafted there, I was like, oh, that's a perfect spot to land up. Yeah. Because like those are where teams can lean on your NBA skills. And I think that's where I was getting at, where it's like it's an important lesson in evaluation where, like, sometimes I think we fascinated about too much versatility. Like, this guy has to have too much stuff to really make it. And it's like, well, Terrence Shannon Jr. also has very important stuff that a lot of NBA guys don't have when it comes to NBA skills. I think he has the great combination of that first step and power. I think together it's really tough to deal with that. And the athleticism, like, not a lot of guys are dying to get in front of him, wall off the Hulk driving down the lane, and he
through you
and he's confident. Yeah, it's not like, oh, I'm tough to. He's going through anyone that tries to get in front of him. He doesn't care how big you are. And then
it's like, I picked up a charge. Cool. I got four more to work with, five more to work with.
I picked up a charge and I have a broken rib because I tried to stop Terrence. But it's also like just the motor, the mentality. I think he does a lot of stuff that you don't like. Yeah, we obsessed with the shot as a prospect, but I think it's also like, we'll look at everything else: defense, plus the slashing, power, strengths, speed. Like it's a lot of stuff that adds up in a hurry. So I thought he looked great. It was pretty quick, and then he has his one big dunk where you're just like, oh my gosh, this is one of the scariest people ever when they just feel very confident about, like, here's my dunk path and I'm going to throw it down perfectly. So anything else on him, or I wanted to ask you something about his teammate?
Yeah, no, let's pivot to Rob and Jaylen. I think those are the only other two notables.
So I have a Rob question.
Yeah.
I thought he looked way better than I think some Timberwolves fans feel like. So I have a question. I want to pin it this way. I watched two players that had the ball a lot at Summer League, and I feel 20 times better about one of them. And one of them's Rob Dillingham. Can you guess the other? They both had. Okay, here we go. I've kind of made this up on the run. I watched two players that had a similar rookie season. I should have said that.
Okay.
They were both top 10 picks last year. And we were both very excited to see them at Summer League. I feel 20 times better. I think I said 10 times. I feel 20 times better about one of them than I did the other leaving Summer League. One of them was Rob Dillingham.
Oh, I was going to say Reed Sheppard until
it was.
Oh, really?
I feel way better. I feel way better about watching Rob.
You loved Reed's.
I do love Reed. Now, let me tell you why I like this. I think Reed went into Summer League with what we talked about, Filipowski, of saying, how dare you play me? And I think he tried to score 50 every game. Well, I think he took some shots where I was like, you're trying to play one game. Rob looks like someone that understood, if I'm going to play this season, I better play the right way.
Yeah.
He found his spots. But I thought Rob's playmaking at Summer League was way better than I was hoping for. It was like, I was very impressed. So that it wasn't saying like I'm out on Reed. I'm not at all. But Reed just had that mentality of like, I'm a scorer. I'm going to play one game and that's it. And then I think he had to play another one. He's like, son of a gun. But Rob looked like he took it serious of like, I got to play the right way to get some trust and minutes early on. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it felt like, in video games where you have XP goals to try and hit, like hit 5 assists.
Yes.
Don't let your man score on this possession. Bonus 50 XP. It looked like he had that sort of list that he was going through and trying to play more within himself, within the team concept. It wasn't always perfect, but I thought he also looked better by the game. The defense is never going to be great, but he fights, he tries hard, he's competing on that end. And as long as he's doing that, I think it's going to be more than enough. The at-rim finishing is still pretty tough. That's just going to take time with him. Because of how small he is, it's going to take time. But the way that he was setting up guys in the corner, getting into the paint, operating that pick and roll, and building that chemistry with Behringer, I thought was really, really important. So I came away really encouraged. I thought the first game was pretty rocky in terms of execution, some awesome stuff, some like, what in the heck was that stuff? And then every single game, it just got smoother and a little bit more effective and a little better and a little more confident. So I thought he did a really, really good job of adjusting by the game.
Yeah, it looked like things slowed down in a hurry game by game for Rob. And I liked that the playmaking was impressive enough. And then all of a sudden you got a moment of like him going to work and ISO and you're like, there's Rob, like bucket. Like, you're like, oh, that's the Rob I remembered at Kentucky. But then the playmaking I thought he did a great job of the 2-man game, setting guys up, letting the game to come to him. I thought it really like popped when like, okay, I'm not rushing this. Let me see. Leonard, he had a couple beautiful finds of Leonard Miller of just like, let the game come to you. Don't rush it. So it was great. But you said Jaylen, you wanted to talk about Jaylen too?
Just insane defender, but it's a tough look when you're throwing up prayer hands when you make a 3 in Summer League. I really like Jaylen. And he is so physically built, and the defense, he's a lunatic on that end of the floor. He just has to make spot up jumpers. And if he can't, probably can't play. But if he does, he rocks. So
he's on that Lou Dort path.
You hope so.
He's humongous.
He's so bad.
The first game he had a drive and they like the ball went out of bounds and they kind of zoomed in on him. I'm like, what did Jaylen eat this offseason? He looked like he ate a tank. I was like, my goodness. So yeah, sorry. I was shocked. I was like, good offseason, Jaylen. Goodness. So he's trying to play the 4. What else you got?
Who do you want to pivot to now?
I thought Ajay Mitchell looked great.
Oh.
Wow.
No, he did.
The problem is I don't know where he looked great because he looked good in both summer leagues. He looked good in Salt Lake City and he looked good in Vegas to me. I'm fascinated to see what OKC does with that roster because I do think Ajay Mitchell is a very, very good potential backup for SGA, but you're getting a lot of mouths to feed. And Topic had some great moments too. Maybe you're going to play him a little bit off the ball or just say, screw it, we're playing everyone together. But I don't know. But I thought AJ just looked awesome. Continues to look like he's playing another speed.
He was getting playoff minutes like 2 months ago. So not shocking. I'm still not totally sure if I buy the shot. Thought he had some ball security issues. But just the processing speed, the execution, how slow the game was moving for him, you could tell. It's like if he hadn't gotten hurt, I don't think there's any chance that he would even be out there.
I agree. I mean, this one's quick. At Salt Lake City, I was like, he shouldn't play. At Salt Lake City, when I watched those games, I said he should probably play one game in Vegas, and then they should shut him down. And then I think they just kept playing him, and I was like, okay. So AJ probably was like, all right, gonna keep playing me, fine. But ball security sometimes, and I also think with those guys, you start experimenting with stuff. But he just looks awesome. Yeah, but he was playing it in the NBA Finals. I was like, well, really playing in Summer League? I get it, but whatever. We can move on from that. What else you got?
Yeah, I think you're going to have your Wizards fandom revoked here because I want to talk Kyshawn George.
I wanted to get the AJ. No, I wanted to.
And you were like, nah, let's talk AJ Mitchell for like.
I want to get the names off get out of the way real quick before we got to the Wizards Hour. So are we getting to the Wizards Hour?
Yeah, because I appreciate this new Wizards regime and this new Wizards era unlike the previous one. And you clearly don't. You're a poser. So, but it's
I'm
fine.
going through my list, but I also try to save the best for last. So screw it. We're gonna just bring it up right now.
Kyshawn George rocks.
It looks incredible.
He and talk about physical development. He looked way bigger and was moving guys. He had a drive on Malawach where he lowered his shoulder, got into his side, and bumped him back 10 feet. Something Alex Sarr did not do. We'll talk about that later. But the way that he was operating, the defense looked fantastic. The shot looks really good. Just the simple decision making. I loved his summer league. I thought he was one of the best guys there.
I thought he was one of the best guys at Summer League. Not even close. I thought he was one of the best guys at Summer League. And people are going, gosh, Metcalf, what was his second game? His second game was almost just as impressive as first game, because I said this is not something Kyshawn George would have done before. Like, he filled up the box score when his shot was not falling. And I was like, this isn't what he would do back in Miami. Like, this is... And I'm trying to find it, guys, while I'm stalling on the air. I don't think it's this game. Anyways, if you find it, let me know. The first game, it was one of those films you watched where you're like, ooh, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I felt like I needed to go outside and smoke a cigarette after watching that tape. He looks so confident and poised and just fluid out there. Now that was a guy playing a different speed than everybody else. And it just, the shot looked good. Like, he was assertive and footwork. Like, it was just great. It was great. It was like, oh, this is what you dream of. You get this guy in the mid to late first round, and then he plays a bunch as a rookie and then comes to the summer league and looks like this. You're like, ooh, we got one. So I thought he looked outstanding.
Yeah. So just looking at real GM right now, apologies if any of these numbers are wrong. But first game against the Suns, 24 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Second game against the Nets, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals. Just a little bit of everything.
That first game, he was efficient. In the second game, he couldn't hit anything and still ended up with that box score. And I was like, that tells you something. He found a way to make an impact.
Off shooting night, and exactly. You're still making winning plays when the shot isn't falling.
That's good stuff.
Those are the guys that stick around.
Yes.
Alex Sarr.
Talk to me about Sarr, because you really want to talk about Sarr.
Maybe summer league's just not his thing.
It's terrible.
Which is
it's
fine.
not good for bigs. I keep telling you, no big has ever looked good there.
Except
Victor looked
Filipowski.
Yeah, expect Filipowski, but then he looked bad on defense. I love how many stray defensive Filipowski talks are given this episode. No, and like Victor looked good, but it's just hard because you're trying to figure it out, and it's not a setting for bigs to thrive. But talk to me about Sarr. What are you worried about? And then he had his really, really good game defensively. So talk to me.
Yeah, his first game against Phoenix, I thought he was awful. He had some big highlight plays, came out of halftime with a little bit more fire, but then faded. He just looked like he was going through the motions, like he had been out late the night before. No effort, no motor. There's just nothing. And I was like, oh God, this sucks. Like, bad shot selection, a lot of what we saw last summer league. And it's like, oh man, all those really good strides you made during the regular season have disappeared. Second game was significantly better. So I was like, okay, one game. All right, I'm going to try and tone down my disappointment a little bit, but it was really concerning that first game. I mentioned how Kyshawn George lowered his shoulder, moved Malawach back. Sarr had a drive on Malawach where he tried to do the same thing, lowered his shoulder, and Malawach didn't move an inch, and instead Sarr went back 3 feet. But hey, at least he got a bad fadeaway mid-range jumper that didn't go in off of it. So the second game was significantly better. The shot blocking, the defensive playmaking, the defensive execution, and in both games, I thought we saw some really good growth with his passing, especially out of the short roll. And that's where him being that lone 5 out there in a 5-out system really becomes valuable, because it opens up a lot more. But what we also need to see in that is he has to shoot it. And he's still not doing that. He has to be able to drive and consistently attack the rim and play through physicality. We're still not consistently seeing that. So I really, really, really want to chalk it up as, hey, 2 games of Summer League. Maybe it's just not his thing. He was awful last Summer League. Got better throughout the regular season. But just something I'm kind of keeping my eye on. Because I do worry whether or not he has the physicality to be that lone 5 all the time, and I'm not sure I buy the shot enough for him to play the 4. So I think he's currently right now today in that awkward tweener spot.
Definitely the tweener spot. I hear you. He's like the early 2000s perfect 4 that you're like, okay, that doesn't exist anymore. I just never thought Sarr was going to be like coming out at Summer League and putting up 26 and 15 because I just like he's not him. Now the 7 block or the 8 block game, whatever he had, I was like, that's Sarr.
Second game, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 8 blocks.
That's Sarr.
Looked so much better.
But I get it. I think you're still at the point with him, like you're like, okay, you get the both sides of the fence. You're trying to just be like, can we get some consistency? So I'm glad he had the bounce back game.
Yeah. Same.
That made me feel better. I don't have a lot of thoughts on Bub because I was like, I'm fine with Bub. I'm not worried about Bub. He had the one good game and I was like, no, shut him down. Don't let him play again. Like, I also thought when you have that roster where it's that many guys, like there's going to be some guys that just don't have good numbers. And I thought Bub looked fine. He finished off like Summer League on a high note and I'm good. Big secondaries coming up.
As did
your boy
AJ Johnson.
What did you think?
Man, he might be the skinniest man in the world.
I don't think he ate this offseason.
Get him a steak, a baked potato,
a burger, anything.
Double cheeseburger, like something. Get this man some food. The athleticism rocks. There's some really fun flashes. Shot still looks a little funky, work in progress. It's all a work in progress. Some over dribbling, still a project. Just 1 year. I loved him in his draft. I don't think anyone was higher on him than I was. He's still ahead of schedule from where I thought he would be at this time. And
people taking victory laps on him of like, oh, he's not going to be good. You're like, okay. Really on a limb there, buddy. Like, yeah, the project after his second Summer League, you're declaring like, no, I thought AJ could be.
Were people doing that?
Oh yeah, they're out there. They're always out there. You're year 3. Give me year 3.
Yeah,
I still think you're just playing. You're just trying to develop him and figure out everything because there's definitely talent, but those are the guys. You need the frame to kind of get some filling out. You need everything to come together, and then all of a sudden it gets really fun. But he has talent. He's awesome. But it's just wait and see mode. Anything else?
No, let's bounce to the guy we talked about earlier, Reed Sheppard.
Yeah. Look, like I don't want everyone to take what I said earlier with comparing him and Rob out of context because
no, you hate Reed. It's fine.
Well, there's already people in the chat, I think, taking it out of context, so it just happens. I forget Rockets fans are really passionate, and I don't want to piss them off ever.
Fired up. They got title. They got title hopes this year, and rightfully so. They're gonna be good.
Look, if I was Reed and I saw my Summer League roster, I'd be shooting as much as he did. He didn't play one game, and I was like, I can't watch this game. Look at who's going to score from him. So, like, I get it. And if Reed's going to get on the court for Houston this year with that veteran roster, he's going to have to light it up scoring. So, the highlights look outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
There's just also sometimes, like, where he's taking some shots where you're like, oof, okay. He made a couple of those, but
first line of my notes is Reed had the greenest of lights, which he should. Especially given
Vegas,
that roster.
Having one of the brightest lights in Vegas is definitely something, and he had it for sure.
But I'm good with that because generational hater in the chat mentioned, he was really passive when he did in his occasional minutes in the regular season, and he did look he looked very much like a rookie last year. A little bit of deer in headlights, and coming out with that confidence is important. Having that green light, having the support of the coaching staff to be like, hey, go show why you deserve backup point guard minutes. Go get it. And I thought he did. But, we know how good of a shooter he is. We know how good of a passer he is. I still have some concerns about how he holds up physically on defense, but his hands and his positioning and timing are so good that even when he isn't providing really any resistance, he's able to just poke balls loose, swipe down, create those deflections, those steals out of situations that he has no right doing. I also thought his footwork creating shots in the mid-range and around the rim looked a lot better too, a lot more versatile, a lot more of the unorthodox stuff that we see from all guards now. It wasn't just textbook off one foot. It was more side to side, as a little craftier, change of pace. It all looked, I thought, a lot better. So I came away really encouraged about Reed's game and a half, 2 games that he played.
Yeah, I think, the only perfect thing would have been like, if he did it really efficiently, but Reed had some moments in every game that I was like, oh man, there's Reed Sheppard. There's the one. I think it was the first game. He had a couple like FU threes, where he was heating up from very, very deep. So that's what I expected from Reed. But again, it's tough when you get him in that context, because I saw the rest of the roster when I was putting together the preview piece, and I was like, Reed, get him up, bud. Get those shots up, because I don't know. Cam Matthews is one of your second scoring options. You really should shoot. So, yeah, I think he looked fine. It's just, hey, let's see if he can get some consistent minutes, because I know Reed can play. There's no question about that.
I am very curious to see how Ime feels about the defense.
Yeah,
because they have the tools to insulate him, but they very clearly have a type. Ime's always had a type. And if you can't defend, really tough to get on the floor for them. So he better be shooting the crap out of it. He's going to gamble for steals and all that kind of stuff, because he doesn't play physical. He never takes contact to the chest. He never walls off drives. That's never how he's defended. Even going back to Kentucky, it's all the gambling stuff, trying to poke balls loose and stay in front, but never really providing any resistance. I continued to see a lot more of that, even though he looked physically stronger. I'm not sure how functional it is on the defensive end, because he just never really implements it.
Yeah, it's tough to have enough horsepower or, gas in the tank too, to be doing it nonstop on both sides. So I think when you're an electric offensive player, you're also trying to save some juice for when you get the ball and going to work on that side. So I get it. I understand he picks some spots, but I agree. It's going to be really interesting to see, what's going to be in the future for Reed, if he gets this shot early on in this rotation or whatnot, because I think it's what you want to see. You wanted to see this if you came in from Reed, like as a Rockets fan, you saw everything you want to see from Reed. It's just now, can this translate to getting serious minutes in this rotation, especially now with this roster? Because they're running for they're competing for a title. They're thinking they're going to go toe to toe with OKC to try to get to the NBA Finals. So we'll see.
Who do you want to pivot to next?
I want to give a shout out to the Suns. I thought they had 2 of my favorite guys at Summer League. I thought Ryann Dunn had the same effect of Kyshawn George from the Wizards to me. Kyshawn, sorry.
No, it's fine. I did too.
Kyshawn.
Just helping you out.
No, I know. That was a bad one for me. Sorry, Wizards fan. And then Ighodaro, I thought really looked impressive. But Dunn, I don't know how to preface this, Metcalf, and you'll understand it. If you watched Dunn at college and you watched him in his second summer league, you'd think his body got hijacked. He was coming down and hitting like fadeaway jumpers in a post-up opportunity, and I was like, that was incredibly impressive. And he would never have done that in Virginia. Like, it's just complete confidence of he was looking for his shot. He never did that at Virginia. Yeah. So it's just like a freak of nature development in like 1 year. So I thought Dunn looked awesome. He looked like he's going to be a building block for the Suns.
Yeah, it was really good to see him come out with that kind of confidence. I feel like we saw that from him last year at Summer League too, and early in the season, where he started out shooting like 43% from 3, and we're like, what? How dare you? But then obviously over 82 games, it faded back. I don't remember what he ended up at, but I believe it was like low 30s or something. But still better than what we expected,
Right.
or what we had ever seen. Where he was allergic to even looking at the rim at Virginia. So that confidence, being empowered to, hey, go show us why you deserve minutes, because he's going to have to play because of his defense out there, and you just can't be a one-trick pony anymore. And so you have to be able to provide something. And if he's looking to do that a little more consistently and can be a little more effective in those situations, it's going to be huge for him and the Suns. I thought Oso looked in the best shape of his life. That dude looked lean. He was moving smooth and quick. He always has moved like that, but it looked even better. Like there's almost like, are they going to try and scale him down to be a 4 a little bit and maybe have run some dual big stuff with him and Kaman this year? Could be interesting. Floor spacing might get a little clunky, but we know Oso can handle and create for others a little bit too. So be really intriguing. But I like, just physically, I was like, man, you look a little leaner and in incredible shape.
Oso looked phenomenal. I thought he looked like, there was plays I was watching. I was like, oh, that was Oso, not Dunn. Like, that's how his physical transformation. I was just like, oh my gosh. And I think he put himself in a position of like, you can play me anywhere you want.
Yeah,
I'll figure it out, because like he was attacking, he was bringing the ball up in transition, he's throwing dimes. Like, I just thought, man, like Oso looks like a great kid. It looked like a really good, for Suns fans that are bummed about all this stuff with like Durant and stuff. I think they had a great draft, and then all of a sudden they just got reminded, hey, you had a great draft last year. I thought they had a really good draft last year, and now that talent's taking that next step. So like things are kind of falling into place and could get fun for, a little mini rebuild for Suns fans. So I thought those two looked good.
Agreed. Where do you want to go to next?
No, you. Okay. I've picked a couple. Come on, hit me. I thought Jaylon Tyson looked great for Cleveland.
Okay.
Sorry, you were frozen.
No, you're good. Well, what did you like?
Looked like the game's different speed. I thought he had the classic first couple games of just looking really, really, really good all over the place, and then thought they might have shut him down, but then I think they kept playing him, and it was clearly like he's trying to work on some stuff. But I still think this is what I'm expecting, and I think he's year 2 gonna hopefully be a nice piece in the rotation with good size and playmaking ability. So I loved what I saw from him.
I've always struggled with him. Do you think there's a legit chance that he takes over some of those Ty Jerome minutes?
Maybe. I don't know. I think he gives you versatility, and with a playoff team, with a hopeful title contender, I think you're just looking for any Swiss Army knife that's like, hey, we could get creative here. Jalen's thing is he's 6'6", 6'7", with guard skills. So he's big, and you can be like, hey, we'll play him off ball. We'll play him maybe small ball 3 or something. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, but I just keep watching him at Summer League. I'm like, he's better than a lot of these guys out here. They need to figure out a way. So I thought it was a good step from him. Like, it's what you wanted to see. He had a couple games with some high turnovers, but I don't obsess with high turnovers at Summer League, because I do think a lot of these guys are trying to work on shit that they've been told. Depends. Yeah, it depends on context. So, if you're getting 11 turnovers, okay, I'm paying attention. But some games when you're out of nowhere, it's like, hey, he had 7 turnovers. Like, okay, let's watch the tape. And with him, I'm not too worried about it. So,
I want to talk about a guy who didn't have the greatest start and earned a little bit of a call out from his main coach. Let's talk about Collier Ware, who Eric Spoelstra had some less than kind words for after their first game.
Okay, now let's be honest for a second. As Tyler Metcalf, the Kel'el Ware doubter going into that draft cycle, were you kind of like smirking, like, hey, maybe I was right still
No, because I
Or
was way wrong. I was way too low on him.
but our intel was correct. So I kind of was like, oh, I guess that goes back to everyone's intel was correct a little bit because
I mean, when
that's what you heard.
a guy has
Word for
had
word.
multiple years with a lot of questions about the motor and the desire and work rate and all that kind of stuff, and then the main coach is calling him out for that exact stuff after one game of summer league in his second year. It's a tough look. Now, thankfully, he bounced back and had an awesome game. Right after that, it felt very similar to what we saw from Sarr. Sarr just didn't get called out by Eric Spoelstra afterwards. He's solid, but
He had a couple.
If you're going to have to keep lighting this fire under him consistently, it's going to take a Ware. Sorry for the pun. Bad pun. It's going to take a toll. There we go. Better one. And made more sense. It was unintentional. Slip of Ware. I know. You're dwelling on it.
Hey, I have to. I'm going to give you a second to gather. He also played California Classic, and he had a couple games where I was like, all right, I think you'd be a little bit better. Like I was just kind of I think he'd dominate a little bit more.
Like he was way better than where I had him, but I also feel like his rookie year kind of got overblown as well. But if you're going to be in a spot where that stuff has to get pulled out of you consistently, he's in the perfect spot for it because Spoelstra and Riley aren't going to mince words, and they have the track record of being able to do it. He's obviously incredibly talented. Physically, he's a monster. He's so big. Some really good shot blocking stuff. The play finishing versatility I thought was really good after that first game. But it's all just going to be a question of how much of an issue is it. Now, the fact that he was kept out of trade discussions and it was apparently the breaking point in a lot of potential trades over this offseason and going back to the deadline, I think speaks volumes to how much they value him. So yeah, getting called out after one game of summer league, not a great look, but I didn't read into that as anything of them being really concerned or out on him, just more so, hey, we have standards and I don't care if you're playing in summer league. I don't care if you're playing in an empty gym, in practice, in a regular season game, or the playoffs. When you're wearing the Miami Heat logo and the Miami Heat jersey, we have expectations about how hard you're going to play. That's all I took it as.
I was a little shocked he was on the summer league roster. I thought it might have been one of those like, hey, you're playing California Classic for a couple of games and then shut down. And it clearly became like they're going to play him. Because I was just like, if Ware was as good as I thought he was after his rookie year, and you know what I'm trying to say, if you're taking that big of a step, he should have just come out and been foaming at the mouth at the first California Classic game. And it just never felt like it was like he looks good, but he doesn't look like you got to get him off the court. Mm-hmm. Like it just felt more of like, okay, but, and then when Spoelstra came out and said that, I tipped my hat off to Spoelstra. Shocker. What a good move by a really good coach. Like I hold the guys accountable. But I also think, like you said, that won't fly long. They're not going to just always, hey, let's try to get Kel'el fired up.
Yeah.
No, eventually they're like, we're done. See ya. Like, because it's, but I think it's just been always the thing with Kel'el. The talent is undeniable. And when things are rolling and the motor's cooking, that's like what we always talk about with guys. Like, just the motor just needs to be consistent. And you see what a player he could be. We saw it last year. So I think they're just, hey, all right, we have no problem calling you out. And I think he responded the right way. So
yeah,
I also think the next game was against the Celtics. So I really appreciate Spoelstra's timing on that because I was like, son of a gun. But
the response was the more important.
Yeah, response is the most important part of the whole thing. And it was probably a good talk right after. Like, look, you played pissed off. You played with some motivation. Look what you did. Like, there you go. You got to find that. So that was a good one. Good, Metcalf.
Any Pelle Larsson thoughts?
No, I don't want to do it. I've had some words with people online. Pelle looked good. I tipped my hat to him. He went and played and then had to stop because he's going to play for his national team. So I was like, that's cool. Good move for him. But yeah, I thought he looked good. He can play in the NBA for a long time. It's always the consistency. And I had some people on the line telling me like, oh, that was just a fit thing at Arizona. I was like, no, when you can't make shots in a game,
For
that's
3
not
years?
because, for 3 years, that's not just a fit thing. That's not a coaching staff thing. And then one of the summer league games after he played like 3 good ones, he had like 4 points. I was like, there you go. There's Pelle. So, but I think he's had a great summer league. I think he looked good.
He just feels like the classic solid 7th man in a rotation.
Yeah, that you're pumped about.
Yeah.
You're like, gosh, if someone's hurt, maybe we get lucky and get the good Pelle for a week or two. Anyone else?
Lakers.
Take the floor. I have nothing to say.
Really?
I'll have it. What do you want to say?
I was encouraged with how Bronny looked.
No, he looked way better.
The defense was good. I thought he was processing a lot better. Shot still really streaky. But I thought the passing looked way better and developing a little bit more of those point guard skills that he displayed very little of the previous 3 years. So I thought he was making really good strides, and especially with the passing and the way that he was finding guys on the weak side and some of those pocket passes that he was setting up rollers with. Still a long ways to go to play actual point guard minutes and rotational minutes, but I thought he looked way better.
He looked like the best player from that draft class, from the Lakers draft class that year.
Yeah.
Man. I thought Bronny looked great for what you'd want to see. It didn't take long of like, okay, Bronny looks good. I think it's just the shot with him. If he can get the shot consistently, like there's an NBA player for sure. And it's not because of his last name. I hate when people say, "Oh, you guys are just talking about Bronny because." Yeah, you're right. We're talking about Bronny because he's the kid of one of the best players in the history of the game. But also, Bronny has really made the right comments of like he understands his past to make serious NBA minutes and contribution, and I love that about him. And it's a good head on his shoulders, shocker, but he's on that path, for sure. And we said when he got drafted, he's gonna need a couple of years maybe in the G, and if he has another jump like this, he's gonna be playing. He's gonna be playing in the league for a very, very long time. So I thought he looked great.
Let's do it. We gotta talk Dalton.
Just I don't know.
Is it just gonna be a swing and a miss?
It needs to get it. He needs a new team. I'm being serious. I don't think he's ever bounced back from the trade stuff. But it's tough. It's a tough look. It's a tough look when you're supposed to be an offensive guy and you can't make shots.
It was really bad. It was really bad. 8 points in both games, 8 points in his last 2 games against the Celtics and the Clippers. And he's playing a lot.
Cole Swider looked better. I was like, why wouldn't you just have Cole Swider?
Cole Swider loves himself some summer league.
But also Cole Swider's making shots. Dalton just looks like the confidence is just
it's shot. It's gone.
Hit the confidence in an iceberg. Sorry, Titanic fans. A confidence just hit an iceberg early and it's sinking. So like someone needs to revive it. I don't think. Hey, I get it. If you almost just got traded in your rookie year, you probably just like screw these guys. But
and playing with LeBron is brutal. Playing for the Lakers is brutal. Doing it as a rookie. Now insert Luka into the conversation too. And he should be the exact type of player who thrives in that role.
He's like literally the best player for those two guys to just be like, hey, just make shots.
Like coming out of Tennessee, it'd be like, man, he had to do everything on offense to get buckets, and he's just this lethal shooter. Like, can we put him with a dynamic on-ball creator? It's like, sure, let's put him with 2 of the best to ever do it. Is he going to shoot 33 freaking %?
I also think we need to realize when you get drafted to a team with guys like this, your room for error is way smaller than I think we realize as, couch watchers. James Wiseman with the Warriors. I had talked to people in that organization. They loved Wiseman. They were like, that kid works so hard. We love him here. He's great. It didn't work because I think they had, all those guys on the team that were like, we're wanting to win a title again. Like, we're glad you're the second pick. You're a big man. We need you to be ready to roll now. We don't have time for you to get your, the rust off or whatever. We need you to. So, like, I think there's these expectations with young guys that get drafted to the right. We always say, hey, it's great. They landed with playoff team. There's also expectations now. Like, we need you to help us.
Well,
early.
The problem is he isn't a young guy.
Exactly.
So they're like, guys,
we can't
the
wait.
guy who was supposed to be like
ready to go now.
Like plug and play. Here we go. Let's go get buckets.
And if you're not ready, see ya.
And he's
find
not getting
somebody
buckets,
else.
and he's certainly not playing defense.
It's a very small window. And it's I'm not saying like, hey, the Lakers were title contenders. Like, be realistic, Lakers fans. So I think though, like with the LeBron and Luka, like those type of players, you better be ready to go. What are you going to do? Tell them off? Like, okay, good luck with that one. Like, you got to be able to play your role right away, or else you're just not going to play. So, I feel for Dalton. I'm wondering if it's just another
so
team.
much more talent there,
and it's not on everybody else. It also is just it's on Dalton. Like, I didn't want him to be like, hey, it's
no, I'm not
or
saying
Dalton. I'm taking I make shots.
I hope that didn't come across as LeBron ruined him. Oh, Luka.
No.
JJ
I agree.
No one ruined him. He
Dalton
just has no confidence.
I think Dalton it hasn't fallen into place for him.
My hope is that he ends up in a Nickeil Alexander-esque type of situation. Very different players, very, very different players, but where Nickeil was almost out of the league and was a throw-in in the Mike Conley deal when he went to Minnesota. And I hope that Dalton finds himself in a sort of situation where a team's like, ooh, this could be a fun what-if throw-in. And they take a shot and he's able to just find that joy again, because he certainly does not look like he's enjoying basketball right now.
I would, if I was the GM, I'd kick the tires. Like, get to All-Star break time, and I might be kicking the tires. I'd probably call Lakers right now. Like, hey, what is it going to take? Come on. What's it going to take? Revisit this talk in 3 months. What's it going to take? But I think he just is a second team guy right now. And I'm hoping I'm wrong and just the light bulb comes on and he looks awesome, but it just looks a little tough right now. Anything else?
Let's just do some quick hits. We can just alternate any names that come to mind.
Okay. I'm going to say Tristan da Silva looks awesome. He's going to be fantastic this year for the Magic. I thought he looked exactly how I wanted him to, and heard great things about da Silva, and they're very excited. So I thought he looked great. Go ahead.
Loved him. Kobe Buffkin, very fun. Shot still needs some work. Drew a ton of fouls. I don't know. I liked him. I thought he looked fun.
Okay.
Really crafty scorer, on ball creator. Ball security was, we talk about context, but if you're going to play those guard minutes, ball security was brutal. Couldn't buy a shot, but I was enjoying the process. We talked about trying to buy low. That'd be a guy I'd be intrigued about buying low on.
Yeah, I'd probably buy low on him and be excited.
I'm going to very low, like a second round pick.
Yeah, you're probably not getting him for that. Maybe. I'm going to cheat here. I'm going to take 3, all from the same team. I thought Jalen Wells, Gigi Jackson, and Cam Spencer all had games where I was like, that is what you want to see from them in Summer League. Gigi had one of my favorite Summer League games in terms of player development, which I was not ready for. He had a game where he looked really, really good with playmaking and decision-making and not rushing his shot. I was like, oh man, if we get this Gigi Jackson, if I was that coaching staff, I'd lock him in a room and be like, look at this game. Just watch what you did. This is perfect. Like, it was just a really mature game from him. And I was like, that's where you're unlocking another GG that's really fun. So I thought those 3 looked great.
Ron Holland.
Oh yeah.
Super confident. Shot looked better. Also just the perfect setting for him.
Perfect.
That chaos, athleticism, confidence in summer league, it's always going to put up numbers, but also the process and his decision making, the way he was going about things, I thought looked significantly improved and really, really encouraging growth from him.
He had his first game. He had a heat check, like pull it back out, step back 3, and I was like, "That's James Harden stuff." And he switched it, and I was like, "This guy." I said a couple swear words from the couch, but it was also like me laughing with him. Ron looked really, really good. I hope his shot looked much better than I thought it was going to. So he's been grinding. I saw some clips of him in interviews, and I love to hear it. Not that I loved all of his summer league, but I'm going to give a shout out to Johnny Furphy for one of the most vicious dunks in the history of Las Vegas summer league. We can move on after that. Oh man, my boy Noah.
I'm gonna bounce to the Clippers.
Yeah,
Cam Christie looked good. Still not ready.
Flowers had some
still
moments.
I'm getting to him too.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
But like I thought Christie looked a lot bigger. I thought the defense was really solid. Was getting to the rim a little more than I was used to seeing. Some really nice passing stuff. Spot up jumper looked really solid. Pull up shooting needs a lot of work, but for a 1-year growth for a guy who's a multi-year project, I thought really important steps were made there. Miller was fine. He just looks the same. Kobe Brown, I still don't get. I don't think it's going to work there personally. And then Trent Flowers, the physical tools rock, the motor rocks, still super raw. Shot needs a lot of work, but I just love how hard he plays. And some of the stuff that he showed was like, oh man, if you can harness any of that and really take a leap in the G League this year, it could be fun.
Not a good sign for Miller when he's putting up these time performances in summer league and he's free agent, can't get signed. So I'm hoping he ends up somewhere because I think he's got a good game, but the Clippers just don't play anyone unless he's been in the league for 8 years. Anyone else? Does Ellis look good?
4-14, worthy of shutting it down after that?
No, not at all. But the shots he went in, I liked. Moving on.
The 4 shots. No,
he had more than one game.
I don't think so. Maybe it's just while I was there then. I thought.
Yeah, while he was there. He had another game he played good. He looked good. He looked like what you want Bezelis to look like.
Let's see. 1 second.
I'm pretty positive.
Yep.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, he dropped 28 in that Pacers game. Okay.
Yeah. So it was very. Yeah, he had a good day.
And the defense was really good. The athletic tools have been good. Transition, he always rocks in.
I was gonna be really mad. I was gonna be really mad if I was wrong because I was like, Metcalf, I think I've watched way more than Summer League than you. So I was gonna be really mad at myself if I was wrong there. Easy. All right, who else you got?
More than enough. Tajane Saloon.
Yes.
Covered the spectrum of what in the world was that to that was really fun.
He's fine.
He almost decapitated someone in the crowd on one of his passes.
They should have been standing there.
They reminded their own business in the 10th row. He had some
Happy Gilmore. Should have been standing there. I think he looked way better than what I there's still moments of it's okay. But there was way more positivity.
Yeah, but the key is, can those moments disappear in the regular season where he's not being allowed to ISO at the top of the key?
He looked like a completely different player compared to that.
Yeah,
like we're making real progress here. So I think it's so. Hey, he had a couple step back threes where I was like, where did this come from? So we're making progress. He's more pumped about the draft they just had than anyone else in the world. Like he's like, yes, we have guys.
Like, why are you guys bringing in shooters? I'm here.
Oh man,
Tyler Smith, I'm starting to worry about.
Really worried about. I've been more worried about him than anyone in my. I'm more worried about Tyler Smith than I am myself.
Yeah, that's tough. Chomsky looked kind of fun.
Jamal Sheppard looked very good.
Jamal Sheppard looked like an insane person on defense.
Jamal Sheppard, I was like, there he is. There's my guy.
I really liked what Jacoby Walter did too. I thought the off-ball scoring was fun. I thought the shot looked pretty good. Defense looked better, still not good. On-ball creation was rough, but
I don't know what to do with Jacoby anymore. I'm man enough to say it because I watched one game and I'm like, there he is. There's the guy against Auburn to start the year that just looked like a bully. Then he goes 1 for 12 the next game, and I'm like, there he is. There's the guy. It's not true. I like him a lot. It's just give me the consistency a little bit more.
And is he on that just Benedict Mathurin path?
I think so.
That Tim Hardaway Jr. path,
which is fine. I think
it's a fine player who's going to stick around for a while.
I think it's tough because when you're still the young, you're buying into you've got way more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when guys really start to figure out a way to be a really desired asset in the league is when they get humbled enough to be like, you know, if they're going to be what you just said, like if Jacoby's like, I could be Benedict Mathurin easily. Like, there's the guy. I gotta try to be this. I think you see that with a lot of old players. They're like, hey, I attach myself to this guy because I've watched him before. And I was like, that's my realistic path to make it in this league. I think everyone when they're young is still like, I can be an MVP. I can be, first team all. Then you realize, okay, maybe not. But Jacoby's just tough for me because I man, when he's cooking, he's very, very fun.
Yeah. And maybe that's all he ends up being is microwave 8th man in a rotation.
Maybe that's what he is this year. Who knows?
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going to happen with Toronto, but I just know watching them, I liked Murray Boyles. I know we're not talking about rookies.
Yep.
And I like Jamal Shed a lot. And I always will love Elijah Martin. But Jamal Shed looked great. Chomsky had some moments of very, very fun stuff.
Yeah, there were a couple passes. Defense looked better. Just processing looked a lot better. Still not ready for minutes, but it's like, oh, okay, this is like I'm seeing you take those necessary steps forward. Which
905 is pumped about him this year. Yeah,
exactly. Last two for me, Denver Nuggets. Deron Holmes, very willing to shoot. Just glad he's back out there. Mixed results, mixed feelings on his play, but I think that was a really telling sign of how they intend to use him on the offensive end. And then I'm still not selling my EJ Liddell stock.
Metcalf, stop it! I sold it years ago.
I refuse to give up.
I was so high on him as a prospect.
I loved him. I thought he had some fun stuff.
Was that before we did no ceilings?
I don't remember. It may have been the first year.
Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead.
The shot's just still way too all over the place, but I just love him defensively. So, anyone else for you?
I need you. I want to say,
and I say that EJ Liddell stuff fully knowing who he is as a player and where he's at in his career.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to think of some others. I wanted to give Holmes a shout out because he the first couple of games, I know you just brought it up, but the first couple of games he looked a little bit like, oh, you're still trying to get the rust out of your head, which well deserved. Like, you just missed the whole entire year. But for him to end Summer League, his last game, he had 19, 17, and 5 with 2 steals on 8 of 16. I was like, hell yes, Toronto. Like, that's the stuff you root for. So I think he finally found a little bit of his groove, and he had a couple plays in one of the previous games I watched, and I was like, oh man, there he is. Like, there's the Dayton Flyers, Deron Holmes that we remember. So I can't think of anybody else on my head. Celtics had a couple guys. I thought Shireman didn't really shoot it well, but he looked much better.
He looked like Baylor Shireman.
He looked like Baylor Shireman. My dad's funny, diehard Celtics fan. He texts me during like every game, every single game. He'll text me, even Summer League, and like, Shireman hit some shots. He'll be fantastic for this team if he can make some shots. Like, so, and then Walsh, I thought, looked great. He had one of the funniest ejections.
The rare Summer League ejection.
It was the funniest ejection ever. It was also like the worst place to ever get ejected. And for anyone that did see it, he got ejected literally right in front. He had in a shoving match right in front of the whole Celtics front office. They were all sitting basically courtside, and I was like, bold choice. He also did the thing in a fight that I love when people do, of where they start clapping, and you're like, okay, you suddenly don't want to mess with this person because they're clapping with joy about getting into a fight. I was like, Jordan, I didn't know you had that in you.
Where did that come from, though? Because I rewatched like that 2-minute sequence multiple
I can't
times,
tell you.
And I
rewound it.
Like, he wasn't chirping with Pelle. Pelle wasn't saying anything to him. Pelle wasn't even involved in the play before where he got fouled, or it's like, what is happening? And then he just shoved him from behind and then like almost squared up, kind of pushed him before he got there. Like Pelle kind of ran up on him, but not all the way. So Walsh's shove was kind of awkward. And it's like, what are we doing? What happened here?
I was in a tower of terror moment for that point because it was Pelle Larsson, who I rooted for at Arizona because I'm a Wildcats fan, but I couldn't stand because he would just have games he disappeared. Now he's on the Heat, so I don't like him. And then I'm kidding, Heat fans, calm down. But then I'm a Celtics fan. I'm watching Jordan Walsh, who I just could not stand as a prospect. And then they get drafted, and I'm like, oh no, I have to talk myself into it. And then so it was just a complete twister for me. But yeah, it was weird. He looked fine, but I'm also like,
hoping for more.
Hoping for more. Yeah, I was too. Anyone else?
That's all I got.
Pacome Dadier, I thought looked exactly how I wanted him to. So
there we go.
There you go. That's all I got.
All right.
We're gonna miss someone. Someone's gonna tag us tomorrow on Twitter. And be like, you guys gonna talk about?
It's gonna be Devin Carter. Thoughts?
Oh, Devin. It is gonna be Devin Carter. It started out, I was like, I want way more. And then it got to a couple games where I was like, there we go. And then now I'm like, Yeah. Like, I would still be buying really low and excited. Because when he's cooking, you see they're like, oh, there's Providence, Devin Carter. There's the guy that you fell in love with as a prospect. But I don't know. He had a couple shots where I was like, okay, I know you did that at Providence, but we can't always shoot from there.
Yeah, it's starting to feel a little more like, oh, this is why we don't get overly out ahead of our skis with guys who have late college career scoring explosions with really funky shooting mechanics and without that track record of high level shooting. So I don't know. It's tricky.
I would feel better if he had more of a pathway to consistent minutes.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. Like, if I knew you were going to play a bunch, I think I'd feel better with like, hey, one more year. But
like if I set his over under in terms of player role impact at Davion Mitchell, more higher or lower?
I don't know. Am I kidding? Miami Heat playoff Davion Mitchell for the next
you're getting all of it.
I think Devin's still got a path. I still think he's going to have a good year. I still am very much buying the potential because like to start the first couple summer league games, I was like, oh man, we're starting to look like the last year. And then all of a sudden he had a couple games where I'm like, there we go. This is what you want to see. So I still just think he needs some time. You're still developing a little bit of feel, and that's why I hate when guys miss the first summer league because of injuries. I think it's so important. Same thing happened to Cade Cunningham. He had like missed summer league, missed training camp. Like he had a much delayed developmental curve. So I'm still being patient with Devin. But yep, I agree. The shooting thing at college, a lot of you guys were hating on that as evaluators. I get it. I was like, screw you guys. I'm buying Devin Carter. I like it. I'm still buying.
And just to save your mentions, you're not comparing Devin Carter and Cade Cunningham to players. Just
no
situation. I'm just
thank you for doing that. I never do that. And people do that, and I'm like, come on.
But you said you can't put names in the same sentence together. Got to know that.
NBA Sentinel will tag me somehow. Don't do it.
Man, that'd be great.
That actually would be great.
All right,
anyone else? Did I forget? Did we forget anyone? No,
I don't think so. I'm sure we forgot a lot. But if you're looking for some super deep cuts, Nathan wrote about a ton of his favorite performers at Summer League over at NoCeilingsNBA.com. Go check that out. That went up earlier this week. A lot of good stuff coming on the site, on the pod feed. Some exciting announcements in the pipeline that we'll get to. Very excited to share, but we'll do that when we're able to. Should be a fun summer. We're gonna have a lot of stuff looking at transfers, incoming freshman. Maxwell started his No Stone Unturned series this week. More coming in the coming weeks. A lot of really good stuff over at NoCeilingsNBA.com, No Ceilings on Twitter, No Ceilings YouTube, all that stuff. But he is Tyler Rucker. You can follow him at Tyler_Rucker. I'm Tyler Metcalf. You can follow me at TMetcalf11. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. Till next time, see ya.